up this afternoon, former Trade Minister Kwadwo Kyeremateng relaunches his political career as he announces the formation of the United Party ahead of the 2028 elections.
Those core values have diminished. People now want to be authoritarians, and therefore when they lead a party, they think the party belongs to them.
We'll be live at the launch grounds. Also, former Health Minister Bernard Okoe Boye accuses the NDC government of abandoning completed and commissioned Agenda 111 project and also starving contractors of the needed funds to complete the La General Hospital project. And later on,
we are committed to protecting the integrity of Lumba, and we are ready to work within time to ensure that on the day that has been set, the funeral will come on.
A brewing family feud over who is the legal wife of late highlife legend Daddy Lumba has spilled into the courtroom, casting shadows over his planned funeral. My name is Grace Hammoah Agyemang. Details of this and more in the next 30 minutes. Stay with us. Many thanks for joining us. Let's begin the bulletin from here. Feud over who is the legal wife of late highlife legend Daddy Lumba has spilled into the courtroom, casting a shadow over his planned funeral. A Kumasi High Court has adjourned until October 28, 2025, the case filed by the musician's wife, Akosua Sewa, who is fighting to be declared his only surviving spouse and the sole person entitled to perform the sacred widowhood rite at his funeral. My colleague Ibrahim Abubakar was in court and joins us for more on these details. Ibrahim, talk to us. Bring us up to speed on this latest suit. Ibrahim, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear.
Great, go ahead.
So even though we know the family has announced December 6 and 2025 are the final funeral rite for the iconic singer and born Charles Kwadwo, we do know that this legal showdown is likely to disrupt that funeral. In court today, we had legal representative of both the plaintiff and the defendant, and the lawyers were before Justice Orinda Atta. And Sewa, or Akosua Sewa, is in court to challenge the case. She wants to be declared as the surviving spouse of the late Charles Kwadwo, known as Daddy Lumba. So today, the plaintiff's legal team fiercely opposed this, insisting that the court must first address their concern, because the defendant also brought in another motion saying they are challenging Akosua Sewa's very right to bring the case to court as the legal wife. So today, the judge decided that, well, since this is someone who is a national icon, a national treasure, he advised both parties to go and settle the case amicably, like out of court settlement. But if they are unable to do so, they should return on October 28, where he will also start with the legal process. But the assurance she gave them was that they will ensure that this is done in a speedy matter, because she will prioritize the case. So the family, both parties, are also hopeful that the case will end even before the scheduled date for the funeral, so that it doesn't affect the funeral. So today, both parties were in court, and the process, I'm sure, will start. That is October 28, if they are unable to settle this matter amicably. But after the court, we spoke to the counsel for the plaintiff, William Squishy, and let's see what he has been telling us.
Unfortunately, you know the posture of the head of family from the beginning. That is the cause of the problem. if letters are written to you denying of your right as a wife, I'm sure that you can't just sleep and let it pass by. So that is the originating. I have the sister of Lumba here, and she represented Akosua Sewa in court today. And this demonstrates the kind of love the family has for Akosua Sewa. You get the point. So those out there who are making noise and making statements, they need to understand how all these things played out. And they should know that Akosua Sewa is the victim, not Odobroni. We are committed to protecting the integrity of Lumba. And we are ready to work within time to ensure that on the day that has been set, the funeral will come on. And that is our project. And that's what we are going to do.
That was William Kusi, counsel for plaintiff. Ibrahim, so this means that going forward, the families or the two parties will appear in courts on 28th October. Before that, the court is hopeful they can do the out-of-court settlement, right?
Exactly. So that's why the court has given them up to that time. If they agree that this will be done out of court settlement, then the court will abide by that, because that's what the judge even wants. She said, this is a man who has lived a good life and is a legend in the country. So at least they should allow him to rest in peace and not engage in all this illegal drama, dragging his name back and forth. But if they are unable to settle amicably, then they should return on October 28th. Exactly.
All right, Ibrahim, thank you for those updates. My colleague Ibrahim Abubakar bringing us up to speed on that family feud over who is the legal wife of the late highlife legend. Let's move away from that and do other stories. After breaking away from the NPP on September 25-23 and launching the movement for change soon after, Alan Kyeremateng made his independent debut in the 2024 presidential election, securing 31,000 votes, representing 0.28%. Today, in a new twist to his political journey, Alan has announced the formation of a new political party, United Party or UP, rather adopting an old name from its mother party, the New Patriotic Party. Another attempt to become the third force in Ghanaian politics and to break the duopoly of the NPP and NDC. My colleague Noble Crosby Annan is there for us. But while we do that, let's also connect with Lord Edu Asari, and then we'll bring you a lot more on this. Meanwhile, Boniface Abubakar from the party has also been speaking. Maybe we can listen to him and then bring you a lot more on that.
Bafwa Koto was CPP, but by the instructions of Asantehene, he quickly moved around the whole country, pulled all the parties together, and then they came and formed a party called UP, United Party, because it was broad-based. It was no longer religion. It was no longer tribal ethnicity or regionalism. So this is what our new party is about. We believe in the old values, the core values that help to establish UP. But those core values have diminished. People now want to be authoritarians, and therefore when they lead a party, they think the party belongs to them.
Boniface Abubakar is a member of the newly formed UP United Party. Let's also listen to Yao Bobin Asama, who was a former member of the NPP and now also in the United Party.
We are saying that the first problem is winner takes all. Why and how is the winner takes all coming up? The Constitution has an article, 63.4 and 63.5, which says that whenever there is an election, you must get 50 plus 1% before you win, correct? And that if nobody gets 50 plus 1, there must be a runoff. So when you have an election, there's a runoff. What happens is that the bigger party who is ahead will come and see smaller parties, collect their support and their vote, and go and deliver 50 plus 1, after which they will go into government alone and leave the people who help them. And then they will go and get strong and powerful and fat in government, and smaller parties struggle. And who are in the smaller parties? The people who can really contribute.
Well, let's listen to Alan Kyeremateng, the man of the moment.
And our mission as a party is to build a united, peaceful, secure, and prosperous country. Can you become the economic powerhouse of Africa if you are divided?
No.
Can you become the economic powerhouse of Africa if there's no peace in your country?
No.
Can you become the powerhouse if you are not secure as a nation? And also, our mission is to provide equal opportunity for all Ghanaians, not for some, but for all Ghanaians. What we have been witnessing since independence is that the opportunities are open for only a few people. The United Party is going to change that dynamics in Ghanaian politics. And it is to provide the opportunity for every Ghanaian to realize their full potential. If you want to become a carpenter, want to become the best carpenter in Ghana. If you are an electrician, we want you to become the best electrician. The soul and strength of every political organization is anchored on its values. Se uni esuna uni ebaya, you are nobody. You will become rich, but then if you don't have values, then nobody respects you. And so your value system as a political organization, for me, is your anchor.
That was Alan Kyeremateng, leader of the newly launched UP United Party. Let's quickly touch base with our colleague who was at the launch of the event, Noble Crosby. And Crosby, if you can hear me, talk to us about this new launch by Alan Kyeremateng, the atmosphere in the room and the demeanor and acceptance of Ghanaians who were there at the event.
Well, it's mainly a room full of the party supporters, the United Party supporters, and the idea of the party is to break the duopoly of the NPP and the MDC so that there will be the next party in government come 2028 or the election period after. And they are telling us that they are ready. They have one aim, is to make sure that they transform the entire country into one that we are both expecting. What they're telling us at the moment is that Alan Kyeremateng, for instance, says that he has the aim to make Ghana an economic powerhouse in Africa by the year 2040. So let's, transform leadership, bring leadership with integrity, among other things. The reception has been good. A few other people were invited from various civil society organizations. The launch is ongoing, and the party is telling us all.
All right. Crosby, thank you for those updates. Noble Crosby, and my colleague bringing us updates on the launch of the new UP United Party. This afternoon, let's just stay on it and talk to political science analyst and poster Professor Smart Sapon. Prof, thank you for joining us. The name UP is definitely not new to politics in the country, isn't it?
Well, good afternoon, my sister, and a good afternoon to our cherished listeners. Of course, UP, very old name. I do not want to believe that the name is sourced from the old UP. Perhaps it is a new name, but even if it is sourced from the old UP, I still don't see it as much of a problem. You remember we were in an empire called Ghana Empire. Our country was called Gold Coast. But at independence, we felt that we should relate to our past, maybe where we had migrated from, and so we picked the name Ghana and all those things. So for me, the name debate's fine, not much of a concern. The interesting thing is that it looks like the entire team of Movement for Change is metamorphosing into UP.
Yes.
And yes, the vision, aspiration, the things they seek to do is not too different from what Movement for Change wanted to do, to break the duopoly of NDC, MPP. We were told this on the formation of Movement for Change. So it's like the same thing. And all those things, yeah. So my worry now is how the structures are going to be put in place to make their output or impact on the political landscape in Ghana.
Exactly. I was going to ask you, when you look at the new UP, combining it with the values the Movement for Change had, what do you make of this new political direction, now fledging into a new political party, looking at the vote they secured in the previous election and all? What new change will that make for Ghana's political landscape?
Well, fortunately for them, they have some time now. The last time they didn't have much time. Now they have 3 clear years into the next general election. What I would want to see them do, if they really want to make impact, is to start from the branch level and try to recruit some members to represent them at the base. Then they move to electoral areas, constituencies, regional, and then the national. And then the structures must be built such that it becomes a living structure, a structure that welcomes new people into it, a structure that is amenable. It appears that there is this old thinking in some politicians, and they begin to lose sight on the changes, the modernization that comes into politics year in, year out. So if they become amenable to change, they take the input of the youth, they gain grounds from branch upwards, then they can become, first of all, stable political party. Their impact in the coming election 2028 will not be much. They must seek to stability or stabilizing the party first. And then in the next opportunity, 2032, perhaps they can seek to become a third force or make an impact. But that is even going to be subject to whether the NDC and the MPP are going to break their ranks and fail to unite and maybe unable to manage their internal affairs. Then their spillover may be to the advantage of new political parties that may be formed. But if they continue to unite, if they continue to see the need to unite, I mean the NDC and the MPP, and they continue to be formidable, then the UP and new political parties may have to do fresh grooming, which may take them some time beyond the 8 years I'm suggesting for them. But it takes a while. I mean, it takes a while. So they must not rush into winning power 2028. They must not rush into, they shouldn't be disappointed even if they don't win power 2032. It takes some time. Perhaps at a time where some of these leaders might be weak, some young people who may take over from them may make the necessary impact that they seek.
All right. Prof, thank you for talking to us. Political scientist and poster Professor Smart Sapon there. This is the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. Time now for a breather. We are back shortly. Welcome back. This is the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. My name is Grace Hammoah Agyemang. Let's go to the quarters of the NDC because the party chair, Johnson Estiedun Ketia, says the NDC has regained full control of the Volta region. Addressing a gathering in Akache North as part of his tour of the region, he urged party members to remain steadfast in their support for the party, emphasizing that the Mahama-led administration will bring the needed development the region deserves.
It was during President Rawlings's time alone that we were able to win all the constituencies. After that, anytime there is election, there is one mistake somewhere or the other. So we lose one seat. When we were together with OT and Volta, if it is not Akan, then even Aglo, we lost it once to an independent candidate. So apart from President Rawlings's time, this is the only time that we have won all the seats in Volta region, including OT as well, 100%. So this is an election of a different type, and the credit is due you. Stay steadfast so we can retain power for long.
He also called on Ghanaians to support the government in its efforts to recover all money stolen from the state, while cautioning appointees of the NDC government to shy away from corruption.
We know when we do that to them, they also do it to us. But we are ready for it because we will not waste the nation's resources. And so anytime you hear that we are arresting them and they are crying, you must be clapping. After all, Dr. Bawumia himself came out and apologized for all the misgovernance that they have visited onto Ghanaians. Didn't you hear him? So if he comes and says that they have done things wrong, they have messed the country up, and we have come, we want to hold them responsible. Shouldn't it be the MPP who should be clapping for us for correcting the wrong things that they have done? Why are they blaming us? Some are saying we are arresting them because they are MPP. And why not? Was it no MPP that was in government? So if we are holding people accountable, should we leave them there and go and hold PNC people or CPP people accountable? It is the MPP people we hold accountable.
Chairman of the NDC, Johnson Asiedu Nketia. There, let's speak to our man in the Volta region, Faisal Abdul Idris. So, Faisal, we know the NDC chair has also been speaking about security recruitment and all. Talk to us more about this.
Yes, so Mr. Asiedu Nketia, yesterday in their catching of constituency, so the chiefs and party members gathered that the NDC government is committed to ensuring that recruitment to the various security agencies this year will take a different approach. What he emphasized is that the government would ensure that there is regional balance, such that what used to be the process in the past, he said, was that people were recruited based on their surnames and ethnicity largely, and that the government is departing from that process to ensure that the regions have proper representation in the various security agencies.
What was the response in the room to this message?
Applause, because there has been that sentiment across board that people tell you that because they bear a certain name or they come from a certain part of this country, when the opportunities of a sort come up, they are not able to get it. And now that he is telling them that the NDC government is committed to ensuring a regional balance, they commended him and received that very statement with applause.
Faisal, thank you for those updates. Faisal Abdul Idris, our correspondent in the Volta region. Away from the Volta region, let's go to the Ashanti region, because the police in Obuasi is currently investigating a shooting incident which has left 6 people hospitalized, including a toddler in the Obuasi East District of the Ashanti region. The shooter is currently on the run. According to reports, a wild jubilation of a court ruling over a chieftaincy issue triggered what some eyewitnesses describe as a freaky shooting. The sis is believed to have been hit by a stray bullet. Kofi Cole, a relative of one of the jubilant's families, is alleged to have fired the gunshot, and some of the victims spoke to the media. We'll bring you that. Let's quickly speak with our man in the region. Evans, we know you have been following up on this story. Talk to us. What is the latest now?
Well, great. So 4 of the victims have been discharged from the Mary Akutu Hospital at Asomkori, a community in the Obuasi East district, of course, where the incident happened. 2 of them, a toddler, we understand he's nearing his 2nd birthday. He sustained some injury on the leg and part of the hand. He has been referred to the Kwadwo Teaching Hospital. Of course, his mother too, she also sustained wounds on her thigh. She's also been transferred to the Kwadwo Teaching Hospital. We understand the two of the victims have been experiencing some complications. The reason why they are now receiving further treatment at the Kwadwo Teaching Hospital, and that they were referred yesterday. That's a part of yesterday, and that is what I have been told at the moment. So that is the current update. We also understand that the Kofi Cole, the suspect, is still at large. But one thing has been established that, many have been saying, I'm talking about eyewitnesses, that it was a freaky shooting. Wild jubilation triggered that particular shooting. So it was actually shooting to showcase some level of jubilation after a protracted litigation over a parcel of land among some feuding family members.
Okay. Evans, thank you for those updates. My colleague in the Ashanti region and also our Northern Bureau Chief, William Evans Inkum, with that update. We can now listen to what the victims have been telling us.
And the 2 minutes said, near Kwako time, our Nimu. Tindy said, Praga Biba. No bit me who create you. To me, imagine if you so.
I was going to buy airtime outside, and in the course, I saw a tricycle move towards me with a man holding a gun. The next thing I heard was a gunshot. I decided to run, then I noticed a wound on my hand with blood oozing. I noticed that I wasn't the only one shot, but the shot was from the man in the tricycle. We were a lot there, and I wasn't the only one affected. The shot affected another man at his occiput.
To me, I'm here to me, John, and say, a pie, I'm Mujay.
Well, let's move away from that unfortunate incident. The Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana, ICAG, has announced a partnership with the Ghana Police Service to clamp down on accountants involved in corrupt practices and unethical behavior. As the regulator of the accountancy profession in Ghana, the Institute says the move is part of efforts to sanitize the system. President of the Institute, Augustine Addo, made this announcement at this year's presidential luncheon held in Accra. There's more in this.
For over 5 years, the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana, ICAG, has been cracking down on corruption within the profession, revoking the licenses of more than 20 chartered accountants. These professionals were implicated in various acts of misconduct, ranging from fraud and unethical behavior to direct involvement in corrupt practices. Some were found to have colluded with microfinance institutions to defraud unsuspecting and vulnerable clients. The 2024 Auditor General's report paints a grim picture. More than 15 million cedis was misappropriated by accountants across various institutions. Of that amount, over 4 million cedis was lost to financial irregularities alone. This growing trend continues to pose a serious threat to the integrity of the accounting profession, prompting concern from the regulator, the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana. The president of ICAG, Augustine Addo, has now issued a strong warning pledging to collaborate with the Ghana Police Service to arrest and prosecute offending accountants.
We are working in close partnership with the Ghana Police Service and other security agencies to clamp down on unethical behavior among accounting personnel in the country. Through the dedicated work of the Discipline Committee of the Institute of Chartered Accountants, we are sending a clear message. Misconduct has consequence. Uprightness has reward.
President of the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana, ending the midday news on 3FM 92.7. My name is Grace Hammoah Agyemang. Log on to 3news.com and get some more stories. You can also like and follow all our pages on social media. It's 3FM 927. Many thanks for joining us. Up next is Business Daily with Bismarck Ewisa.